Palawan, Philippines. One of the least developed of the country's major islands, this laid-back paradise lures in tourists and locals alike with its white sand beaches, jungle-clad mountains, and abundant wildlife.
Now there's something you don't see every day when you're out walking the dog.
But there's much more to Palawan than meets the eye. In fact, one of its most unique features is right below the surface, at the subterranean National Park's underground river, Palawan's #1 tourist destination.
After a 2-hour drive across the island from Puerto Princesa, we found ourselves here at Sabang Beach, where these ferries are going to take us to the largest underground river in the world.
We motor through the calm waters of the South China Sea, passing deserted beaches and overgrown rainforests that line the coast.
We're going to travel by boat about 25 minutes around that point, and we're actually going to enter the inside of that mountain through the subterranean river.
After a short hike, we arrive at the mouth of the river, which looks like a prehistoric scene from a Hollywood dinosaur movie. I settle into my canoe and set off downstream into the caves. The river meanders for more than 4 miles. The stalactites, dripping walls, and eerie noises create a mood that seems entirely otherworldly.
The silence is broken only by the sound of our oars in the water, the dripping water from the ceiling, and of course the sound of thousands of bats whooshing all around us, chattering away to each other.
Coexisting with the bats are swiftlets, fast-moving small birds that also use sonar when building their nests in the dark.
Those little gray oysters that are stuck to the sides of the walls of the cave, those are the birds' nests.
Unlike other birds that make nests from twigs, grasses, and mud, swiftlets use their own sticky saliva.
So they regurgitate it onto the sides of the walls of these caves. And then, very enterprising and very brave young men climb these razor-sharp rock walls, pry loose the little nests, dry them, and sell them.
We paddle past miles of limestone and marble cliffs and some breathtaking natural architecture.
If these giant rock formations passing just a few inches from your head aren't enough to freak you out a little bit, then the dripping waterfalls inside this underground mountain turned on its head will.
2 hours later, back into the sunlight and out onto the beach. It's practically deserted, except for these two guys hunting down a little lunch.
Oh, that's a mangrove snake. Are you kidding me? Look at the face on him. He's got a face like a screw bit.
The mangrove worm may look like a snake, but it's actually a worm that can grow up to a foot long. These ugly little fellas spend their lives chewing on dead mangrove wood. Along the way, some brave or very desperate soul decided it would be a good idea to eat them, raw.
Very good. Delicious.
I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is. And I was really excited about this until I realized that they were big, they were wood chewers, and they were alive.
At least for the moment. The prep work is pretty simple. Just strip the wood pulp from the body,
All right, let's rinse him off.
Dip it in a little calamansi juice to soften the blow, and down the hatch.
Doesn't that worm look really piddly? But I dare you to do it. That's fabulous. Seriously, this is Zimmerman's Law number 75. The way more disgusting the food looks, the more neutral it tastes.
I'm even going back for seconds.
Eating mangrove worms is kind of like eating wood pulp flavored jelly. It's flavorless, kind of the same way a gummy worm is. I don't mean that to be too punish. And if you've ever had desserts made with tapioca or stuff like that, and they're a little too firm, that's what other parts of it taste like. But every once in a while, you get this little wafting in there of the wood pulp. This is certainly one of the stranger things I've ever eaten, bar none.
Luckily, I've been able to try them in this pristine seaside setting with some guys who clearly know what they're doing. The sun has finally come out, and it's time for me to head home.
My Filipino food adventure has been unlike any other that I've ever taken. Mangrove worms on Sabang Beach to coconut grubs in Rizal province of Balut on the streets of Manila. I never dreamed I would enjoy any of those foods as much as I did. And all the food that I expected to find to be spectacular, well, it was better than I had ever dreamed of. Who knows what I'm going to be eating next? Jellyfish salad in China? Grilled guinea pig in Ecuador? Who knows? But you know what I always say? If it looks good, eat it. Melon juice with little starch worms, refreshing. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You can even see that little guy in there. Do you like this?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I like the chicken heads better. That was a good one.